Говоримо з провідником офіційної опозиції канадського уряду Ендрю Шір про потребу в цей час кризи, щоб всі парламентаристи були присутні на праці в канадському парламенті.
Вітаємо вас, дорогі глядачі, на українській телемережі «Контакт». Сьогодні маємо надзвичайну приємність поговорити з представником опозиції канадської, паном Ендрю Шір. Mr. Andrew Scheer, welcome to our show. You're a friend of our community, and we thank you very much for joining us today. That was a Ukrainian welcome, and it says that you're an okay guy. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you so much for having me.
So Mr. Scheer, we're doing a couple of commentaries in relation to the COVID-19 and the issues. Specifically, we've been dealing with medical ones. Today, we're expanding our reach a little bit, and wondering to what extent should we be considering this COVID thing a national emergency? And sort of just paraphrasing, when you're on a boat and there's an emergency, you sort of get all hands on deck. And to what extent are we concerned, or should we be concerned that Parliament should be running, directing us in a more on-hand way, as opposed to just daily or weekly press conferences from the Prime Minister?
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, we are in the middle of a national pandemic. We are seeing thousands and thousands of Canadians get sick with this disease, and sadly, many die. This is obviously having an impact on family and friends and loved ones. It's also having a huge impact on the economy as well, as people are told not to go to work, as businesses are told not to open. So we believe that this is the time for more parliamentary oversight. This is a period of time when the government, the federal government, is making announcements, making decisions that have an impact on the lives and livelihood of every Canadian. And now is the time to make sure that those decisions are the best they possibly can be. And we've seen a few examples already where the government has tried to use this crisis to give themselves more power. The Conservative Party stopped that. But we've also improved their legislation. We've also made sure that their programs are reaching more people. So in a time like this, we need more accountability, more oversight. We want decisions and announcements put through rigorous scrutiny so that we can make sure that it's in the best interest of Canadians. And so we're very disappointed that the Liberal government has decided to effectively shut out Parliament from the conversation and eliminate 80% of the parliamentary sittings. We don't think that's right, and we're going to continue to push them to have more accountability.
Now, what are the methods of pushing this accountability? It seems surprising that all the other parties also sided with this kind of a setup where we have a diminished Parliament.
Mm-hmm. It was very disappointing as well. We thought that although we may have ideological differences between the Conservatives and the NDP, we believed that they would see the benefit for Canadians to have the opposition parties play a more active role. Canadians elected a minority parliament. They gave this Liberal government another mandate, but with some constraints, and the constraints were that Canadians wanted other parties to have a say as well. So we were hoping that the NDP and the Bloc Québécois would have agreed with us. They decided not to. So it looks like it's only the Conservative Party that believes that even in a time of crisis, we need to safeguard our rights and our liberties very closely. We can't give up our freedoms, our fundamental human rights, just because there is a crisis. We have to take the crisis seriously. We have to make sure the government gets it right, and we have to make sure that Parliament plays its traditional role in providing that oversight to government.
Now, is there a way still of that happening, or is the game over?
Well, for the next few weeks, the government was able to pass their motion with the support of the other two parties. So you asked about what we can do to put pressure on the government to push for it. From now until May, obviously the middle of May, the Liberals have got their motion passed. So that means that they have succeeded in eliminating 80% of the parliamentary sittings. After that break week in May that's coming up, there will be another opportunity for Conservatives to say, okay, now we really need to make sure that we have those in-house, in the chamber, parliamentary sittings. So we're going to make our case to the Canadian people in advance of that, and then we're hoping that we can convince one or more of the other opposition parties to vote with us this time to preserve the role of opposition parties in this crisis.
And now, Mr. Scheer, the Conservative Party is also, in a sense, going through a leadership issue or convention. Yeah, how is that happening or not happening at this time?
Well, it's a huge challenge. You know, we were planning on having a new leader selected at the end of June, and with the health pandemic, the decision was made to postpone that. Obviously, it's very difficult for leadership candidates to have coffee parties, to have meet and greets, to have town halls. It's also difficult to communicate with people when people's attention is largely consumed with the very real threat of the virus and, of course, the economic fallout from it. So I know that our party's leadership organizing committee will be making a decision soon as to when the race will start again, will resume, and they'll have a new date. So in the meantime, our caucus, our party is firing on all cylinders. I am staying on as the leader in this interim period, in this period before a new leader is chosen. So we've got a very effective parliamentary team. We're going to continue doing our work, and when the party decides it's the right time to restart the race, I look forward to handing the keys to the party over to a new leader.
Okay, so Mr. Scheer, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for your time. And, дорогі глядачі, це був голова офіційної опозиції канадського парламенту пан Андрій Scheer. І вернемося до дальшої програми відразу після наступних реклам.